Welcome or welcome back, everyone. I'm Pebble, and today we're going to be taking another look at Ostranauts in the early access build 0.8.0.9. Those last numbers will change, but the 0.8 will stay the same for this season. We're going to jump in with a new campaign. I've been advised that we will miss content if we just don't go through with starting a brand new save file. So, rather than playing as Caden Vaughn, we are going to play as another person. Okay. I believe I have clicked. There we go. Okay, so we are Preston Gibbs, little nerd. Let's go to the sink. And let's see what, okay, we need to unpause. Okay. Okay, so we'll go gender neutral today. Honestly, I kind of like you the way you are. You just have a certain quality about you. It's just beautiful. And Preston is a great name. All right, let's go with it. Okay, that seems good. Okay. No, everything is perfect about you. The only thing, no. The nose, everything is perfect. Big nose, big nose. Let's give you a big old schnoz. Okay, done. Let's go ahead and take a look at our goals. Okay, everything looks good here. Open our inventory. We'll pop that open. Ooh, look at that. This is a new change, kind of. At least the UI is different here. We are visually impaired, immunosuppressed, micro-G, hypovolemic, slow metabolism. You know, I do want to change some of these, if possible. It's not here. Okay. That might be in here. Career? No. Surely. Or maybe I can just... No. Or is that just the luck of the draw? Let's see if we can, change outside of this. I cannot update. No. I can't do that. Okay, so this is not where we would do it. Maybe in career. I don't think there's a way for me to change my skills or my traits. Or a charismatic leader, which is, you know, all of this is fine. We'll make it work. It's not a big deal. I'm not quite sure what the hypovolemic one is, but we'll figure that out. All right, let's go ahead and jump in with a career. We were a prisoner. Okay, so that one was unavailable, it seems. You're drinking at the local watering hole after your shift when you see the unicorn. They're the scion of an Ayotimiwa executive sneaking out to rub shoulders and bump uglies with the common folk. You wince as they try to pay for their round in yuan. It's dollars for the likes of us, friend. If you're careful and lucky, they could be an opportunity. Let's go ahead and hack them. That's what is Rosebud. You choke on the drink you're nursing. Well, at least it isn't password. You remotely clone the contents and upload it to the station's dark web for sale, even as you sit there strapped to your stool. Perhaps 15 minutes later, Scion takes a phone call which leaves them looking as nervous as it's possible to look without thoroughly sauced. The retinue organizes a speedy retreat. You grin into the nozzle of your water skin. It shouldn't be this easy. New enemy, Trevor Steele. Manager. Okay, so we have an enemy. Okay. Labor barge locker. We're still a shipbreaker career. Alright. Hulks of blackened metal loom all around you as you ride the labor barge out to the boneyard. The barge is so overloaded today. They've got some of you clinging to a cargo web full of locked crates. Crates with emergency supplies they'll no doubt deduct from your pay if you dare have an accident. The armed guard's back is turned. We'll cut a hole in the crate. As one of the more skilled hole cutters, you're assigned a laser torch for the day. Firing up the borrowed laser torch and making room between the webbing, nearby laborer looks around and organizes a few others to anchor you as you work. Within seconds, an orange-ringed chunk of the crate, lock and all, floats away to silent cheers from your fellow workers. New friend, Lily Hammond. Okay. You're approached by a coworker with a shady scheme to make money. It's a big take, if you can pull it off, but there are risks. Oh, we're taking the risks. It's a trap. Sensing your naivete, your partner makes off with the loot and leaves you holding the bag. You are caught by local authorities and sentenced to hard time. Gloria. You butthole. We will come looking for you, Gloria Lyons. We want our revenge. We will take what's ours. She's a real beauty, the Testudo Heavy Lifter 448, and it's with a confusing mix of honor and dismay that you're contracted to take her apart. On day 4 of the break, you're welding through a wall compartment when something catches your eye. You snap off the torch and take a closer look. Your breath catches at the sight. A Miura intake regulator, the apex of the defunct company's technical achievement. Today, one of the rarest aftermarket parts in the game. Popular on other markets too. Maybe Iotawima don't need to know about this. Maybe take it. Your dream ship, you have one, don't deny it, everyone here does. Your dream ship was a Miura regulator. If you're gonna dream, why not dream big? And a pair of Weber ignition lasers, a Zhuangji reactor, all on a Titan shipyard's frame. Your letters of marque from 5 different planetary LEOs are framed in the crew mess. Dalise streams her aerobics routine from your ready room. Wait, where were we? Oh yes, you've disassembled the regulator and you're taking it back to your dormitory piece by piece, shift by shift. You're going to hide it and sit on it like a small mammal in hibernation, or maybe a desert flower waiting for the rain. This isn't insane. This is perfectly normal behavior. Midway through scrapping yet another Hulk, the cockpit of your allotted salvage pod lights up with red telltales. Suddenly, you're under thrust as one of the engines sends you spiraling away from the Hulk's orbit into the black. It's unresponsive and nobody has the fuel to come save you. You're expendable. If you want to live, it's up to you. We're gonna hack the engine. No, we'll jury rig. We can jury rig. This isn't your field of expertise, but the principles of motion are more or less the same way you go. The problem is that one engine is misfiring wildly and counteracting your attempts to correct it. Therefore, the solution is to nullify that engine. Lasering through the engine mount on the hard point strangely never came up in the owner's manual, but you suspect if it had, it would be under don'ts, with good reason. As you break through, the engine shears off, taking a part of the pod's frame with it. You limp back into port with the harbor master, but the harbor master is none too happy to hear there's another cloud of debris for his crew to track. Happened across an ad for Ryuko 277A salvage pod. It's little more than a tin can with maneuvering jets and life support, but it'll get you around the K-Leg boneyard well enough. More importantly, it could be a means to avoid long lines at the day labor berth and avoiding the salvage tax levied by yard transport. Let's take the old ship. How old are we at this point? RCS counts 4 torch. Drive, no. Location, OKLG, docked, no. Okay. Take the ship. You're now the proud owner of a 277, and you can now reach some of the outer derelicts beyond the watchful eye of the yard masters. Maybe with some replacement parts, elbow grease, and a little luck, one of those hulks could be made space-worthy. Technically, it'd be stealing from the junkyard. Stealing junk, but still stealing. And Harbor Master Ayadami won't like it when he finds out. Yes, we did. Okay. Submit. Alright, work safety. So here's some tips for new players, right? This is how we're creating our character. If you're like new and you're like, I don't know what to do, you can click on these posters and read them, and they give you a lot of sometimes useless jibber jabber, but sometimes there are nuggets of valuable information, right? So these things do sort of give you an idea of what you might just, we might just want to hold on to one of these. Let's pick up just the one. Let's take a look at our inventory. We've got the Hydra RCS intake regulator. Awesome. I don't quite know how to install that yet. Our inventory starts with... Okay, and so here's another way you can sort of interact with items, right? Like, you can take it off the ground. So if I were to move the camera over here and I take it off the ground, and this is sort of where we're standing, right? So it'll move around. You can take it off the ground and put it into your inventory, or just put it back on the ground. So that's one way to sort of move items. Right-clicking on this poster. This is another works... No, this is... Okay, that's just another work safety poster over there then. Alright, and let's go down here. Let's take a look at the supplies. Let's trade. Okay. I think we should get... Let me take a quick look at our inventory. We have a drill. We have a Weber laser torch. We have a pressure suit. And a pressure suit helmet. And a work lamp. Let's see what else we might be interested in here. We might want some food. We might want some of these hole patches just in case we get in some trouble. We might want to... I think a crowbar is always a good idea. And maybe a crate, though we can probably hold on that. We probably don't need to get that. We will take a few. Paid. Okay, we have a little bit of money here. I didn't realize water was going to be so expensive. Let's not do the mystery. Let's do a nacho fiesta and some kung pao chicken. Anti-nausea. I do think we'll take some anti-nausea. I don't quite know what our disease does, or what our trait does, so I don't want to take any chances. Let's take an EVA battery and some O2 bottles as well. And we'll take 2 of each of those. Maybe 3. Okay, that's fine. It's gonna cost us 1,600, but I think it'll get us a good start. Alright, so let's go ahead and accept that. Let's go to self-care here. This is where we get to sort of change around some of our stats and things. Okay, so we have 3 points left. Okay, that takes 3 points. It's a positive. We're charismatic, which... Let's see. Do I get to see what that does? Inspires devotion in others. Okay. intimate relations, extremely clumsy. I mean, see, this is fine. It's only one. No, we don't want to. Physically weaker, finicky, follower, uncomfortable making decisions, glutton, slow healer, humorless, micro G. Okay, it has a permanently lowered amount of circulating blood. No, and no. Let's not have trouble falling asleep. Will be visually impaired. No. I don't want that. It was excessively messy. You're a heavy sleeper. Or a light sleeper. A little selfish. Juice. Fast metabolism. Slow metabolism does what here? Where is that? Let's do physically stronger than most. Strong, charismatic leader. What more could you want? Slow metabolism. Food is pretty cheap. We can, yeah, let's just do that. All right, we have -3 points, so we need to. There's no qualms. Yeah, big liar, big liar for sure. Fragile? No. Let's do fragile. That's fine with me, actually. And you're a slow healer. That's fine too. And a little, well, no, you can wait. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Lustful. That's an easy take. And then we can take one more. Okay, so maybe we just get rid of light sleeper. Strong charismatic leader, fragile, slow healer, liar, lustful, fast metabolism, selfish. Let's accept. Okay. And I think that's all we need. So we launch. So that is the setup of the game, right? So we just created our hero, set up their background. Pressing launch will end character creation and begin the game. If you want to make any other changes, press cancel, escape, or the X in the top right. Otherwise, press launch to proceed to your character's starting scenario. Yeah, I think we're totally fine to go. So, you know, you can also click on things. I highly recommend engaging with a lot of the UI. It's really great to just be able to like press buttons and like unscrew things. It's just, and the art in this is beautiful. I love it. With one last look back at the barracks you've called home all these years, you step through the threshold into your salvage pod. It won't get far on its own, but you know of at least a few derelicts out there in the K-Leg Boneyard that might be candidates for your next ship. Start checking out derelicts and choose one to make your own. Awesome. I love this. Things seem to have been like sort of cleaned up a little bit. I like how the smaller font here. I think that's a change, or maybe yeah, I think that's a change. I could be wrong. I think just things look a lot sharper and cleaner, at least in the UI, which is really nice. Confirm. Alright, so let's pause the game. We are Preston Gibbs. We have just acquired this tiny little salvage pod. So we can right click on a lot of things and sort of find out what they are, right? So we've got a heater here, we've got some N2 canisters that are plugged into a Kang 2202. I do think that maybe, you know, I like the way that this is set up, that you can just right click on everything and see where everything is. Batteries, power switch, fantastic. We've got a thermostat up here, O2 pressure alarm. So if our O2 drops, and you can see that up here when I scroll over the ship, how much O2 we have in there, how much N2, CO2, all that, right? So that'll change as we sort of open doors and you know, go into other ships and stuff. Like, you know, the pressure and all of that will change. So it's really good to have these O2 pressure alarms to sort of keep track of whether things are dangerous to take your helmet and pressure suit off, or whether you need to keep that on. For now, I am feeling safe in here. I don't think we're gonna breach a hull or anything like that, so I feel pretty fine. We did buy some hull patches. Okay, good. Just good to have a few of those. We've got a heater here. We've got a battery. Oh, no, yeah, a cooler over here, and then a battery. We can take a look at the battery control panel. And we can see that we've got full charge. We can take apart that screw, and we can take a look at the sort of ins and look at where the inputs are and all of that. So a lot of really neat interactive features in this game. Let's go ahead and go to the nav station up here. This is our pressure lock down here. Don't crash. Nav equals RCS. So you use RCS remass. Track equals ship. Zoom equals STN. So that would be the station zoom. It's just telling you what the defaults are. Controls, WASD thrust, Q&E rotate, plus minus or move. I think that, yeah, that's the zoom. Click question mark and yeah, okay, so we can click on those. Do not plot LR course. Light thrust. So I think that's long range course. Switch to docking controls, right panel. Yep, so that's right here. So it just gives you some tips and tricks for how to use that. Hold on. Let's go ahead and use that again. I think I want to put that away. Okay, perfect. So this is our ship controls. We can see here that our Thundering Funk, the BNWZH, is just off the K-leg port of Azi Kiwe. If we zoom out, we can see a bunch of these question marks and so if you don't click on one of these, right? So if I just click into space, you'll notice that it's moving. And the reason that it's moving is because if you zoom out and you go to the planetary view, or you go to the INR view, you can see that we are actually floating. We are orbiting around this star system, and that there are a variety of different ports and a variety of different planetary bodies around this this star. So just really good to sort of understand like what's going on here. So if I just only am in the station view and I'm looking at this station, and I need to click on the actual things around the station, because all of these are sort of orbiting around this station and floating in sync with it to some extent. Some of it's floating faster and slower, and so you will notice that they change to some extent, because you will just be, you know, it's gonna just keep moving, keep on moving. Now I might have some of this wrong, but you know, feel free to correct me in the comments. But that is, to my understanding, of how this is all working, right? So we're actually, and you can see another ship out here, the Martyred Saint. they are a salvage tug. So let's go ahead and rotate our ships, the Thundering Funk. Let's go ahead and rotate. I'm pressing E for our rotation thrusters. And that's not really moving us forward or backwards. It is just moving us in a stationary place. Though we are still orbiting around this sun. Let's go ahead and click on, or around this star. It's not a sun. I don't think it's this. Let's take a look at, let's just go to one of these salvage pods over here. So we have, this is RCS Remass. This is what's we're gonna use as a thrusting fuel. And so if I press, our forward thruster. Okay, let's go to this one first. I want this BRG to be close to 0 or 360. So I'm going to rotate the ship until we get there around. Yeah, that seems fine. And it's sort of taking up and down, and that's okay. We can adjust this course a little bit later. This VREL is, I think, our speed, or our velocity. Relative velocity, maybe? I don't know exactly what the acronyms all stand for here. It might be in the manuals. So again, highly recommend checking those out if you are really interested in knowing everything. Now, okay, yeah, and so the nav mode here is map controls. I could use WASD now to move around the map, or I use the RCS maneuvers here, so that it is associated with the WASD, right? So let's go ahead and increase our thrust. So again, as I increase the thrust, our RCS remass goes down, so you have to manage this. If you run out of this, you are sort of in trouble, so just keep that in mind. And we are moving towards this target. So I would say maybe let's go ahead and go up to like 250 here. That seems good. And we're gonna want to slow down at some point. So I'm gonna maneuver the front of our ship a little bit more down here, and you can zoom in a little bit more. So here you can see that there's sort of a path of where our ship is sort of going, and that is sort of the predicted trajectory of our ship based on our velocity and all of this stuff, right? So you can sort of change this around by hitting the various thrusters, right? So if I want to go down this way a little bit, I have to sort of hit the thrusters to push us to go off on this side and push us down this way a little bit. So now we are still moving. Let's go up to 300. I think that's fine. We'll have plenty of time to slow down. Range, you can see, is 30 kilometers here. So we are approaching steadily. And I'm very curious to see what our first ship is gonna, the first bit of wreckage that we come upon is gonna look like. Now, this is the 0.8 build. I've got a little bit of time here while we approach. I could speed up, but I really don't want to use any more RCS remass. This is valuable stuff out here in space. You do not want to be stranded, right? So I want to ensure that we are just sort of monitoring this as much as possible. Once we get to about 10 kilometers here, we'll slow down. We're going to start slowing down. But this is, like I was saying, the 0.8 build, and has a conversation overhaul. So we're not going to see that in play here, I don't think, at least for an episode or two, as we are going to be salvaging this ship. But once we get back to the station, that's where we're gonna, and I assume we're probably not gonna meet other people out here. I could be wrong. Let's go ahead and start slowing down. Go down to like 200, 189 for now. Once we get to the space station, we'll actually engage with the new content that the patches brought. Thanks to the developer, this is just a fantastic game. I cannot, recommend this game enough. So now that we are getting close, we are going to be within docking range of this ship. The proximity warning is going to start going off here. We'll clear that. And we'll do select docking target, this question mark, dock, and accept. And now we get the docking view here. So we again use our thrusters, RCS remass. All of this is using RCS remass, so just be careful to not use a ton. Be very intentional about how much of that you're using. Again, we see the range here. We are approaching steadily. Want to make small adjustments. Here's this relative speed that we're going, I think. Okay, and engage clamps. Whoops, I forgot that little bit. We did sort of bump into it a little bit, but I don't think we're gonna have a puncture. If we do, we can quickly put our pressure suit on. I think we should have time. Actions. Okay, so here, the first derelict, the clamp on your docking rig, the clamps on your docking rig engage and your hull resonates like a struck gong. I think that was us actually banging into the ship a little bit more than so much than the clamps, but while your sensors scan the vessel for data, you close your eyes and imagine the fortune that could await you on the other side. Perhaps you found a racing skiff, a nimble vessel with a lightweight hull pushed around by a top-of-the-line RCS package and a 4-can Miura Hydra intake regulator. Or maybe you've stumbled on a multi-cabin pressure yacht, an elite catamaran complete with a full bar and corridors adorned with yards of crimson and cream Van Hummel interiors. Or maybe it's just a dead freighter, a decades-old testudo hauler packed with trash and sporting a giant hole where the reactor used to be. This is a junkyard after all. Whatever it is, it's yours now if you want it. Yours to strip for parts, or with a little work, yours to fly. So you can definitely fix up anything. You can even just start your own ship straight from scratch. So really, really cool game. Let's go ahead and jump in with this. So, actually, I think I'm gonna end the episode here, and we'll strip this ship in the next one, and maybe even go to the shipyard. There are, if we take a look here, a couple other ships that we could probably access within close range. I think this is, let's see, 11, 12, yeah. So we could do these real fast, do sort of maybe even do this little block here, and then go back to the K-leg. But we don't have a lot of space here in this ship. We don't have the ability to store a lot of things. So we may actually have to go back sooner than doing all four. But, who knows? We'll see. We'll see after this ship. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't yet, make sure to hit subscribe because it helps me out as well as the channel. And I will see you in the next episode, where I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the changes that the 0.8 patch brings. Thanks again for watching, and see you soon.